Wayfinder is a co-op action RPG about, well, being a wayfinder. As the champion of humanity's hope, you must fight against the gloom, a depressive and vile rot which wraps itself around the hearts of men. In doing so, you dive into the gloom yourself, reshaping its chaos into order, turning sadness into strength, and trauma into triumph. You and your allies forge the path forward for this struggling, shattered world. These powerfully poetic plot elements are aided strongly by splendid Saturday morning cartoon visuals. In general, Wayfinder is a very inspirational and aspirational work. Unfortunately, none of that is present in the actual gameplay. This is, when you get down to it, a fairly standard loot fest in the vein of Destiny. You'll recognize all these mechanics the second you spot them. There are power ratings, all the loot is instanced, and there's like 5 different currencies. I'm still trying to figure out how affinity points and Halcyon orbs work. Also, Halcyon orbs are the worst name for anything. That basically just means good time balls. You're not being clever, Wayfinder, you're being embarrassing. So yeah, the mechanics are completely normalized to industry expectation, and they're bad. Loot really shouldn't be this restrictive and this complex simultaneously. It's only designed this way because everyone else already did it, and I much prefer traditional action RPG looting. You know, like when you go into a dungeon, grab cool stuff, and swap it between each other while comparing stats and talking about your class builds. And while we're on the subject, builds are not really a thing, as near I can tell. I'm sure folks are already mad that I said that, but I played this game on the highest available difficulty for 5 hours, and I only experienced roughly 3 minutes of challenging gameplay. I never had to think about what I was doing, where to put my points, or anything like that. I just used the attacks I liked the best and spammed dodge. I also experimented with different character and weapon combinations, but that didn't make it any better. There's no point to crafting a character build or character loadout if it doesn't actually change anything about the gameplay loop. And sure, maybe it gets more challenging later, but time is precious, and I spent 5 hours mindlessly hacking at easy enemies and solving simple switch puzzles. I found nothing stimulating or unique about Wayfinder's design. Even if you do manage to die, you seemingly respawn with no level progress lost. That said, I still really love this game, and I intend to play it much more. That's not because it's good, creative, or even particularly memorable, but instead because it came in a pretty wrapper that I like. It carries the faint spirit of old PS2 action games, animated superhero shows, and poetic passion. It's functionally no better than the equally terrible Babylon's Fall, but hey, I like that game too.